Well, willkommen, Hoinan, and welcome to Full Throttle Racing's Division 2, Season 7. It's Race 7, and it's time to go out to Miami for the first time. My name is Webbo, here to take you through tonight's racing, and I'm joined today by a new driver to the pre-show, not new to League Racing or at all to Full Throttle Racing itself. We have a Knight of the Realm. We have Sir Hamrick with us. Welcome, Sir Hamrick.
Thank you.
May I call you Hamrick from now on, or do you need the honorific Sir all the time?
No, you can call me Hamrick, just Hamrick.
So how's things been going for you so far this season and on the new game?
Not the best this season. I'm going to be dead honest. Had a few races where I was pacey, like in Australia I had a bit of pace. Went through the field, that was quite lovely. The first race was leading the race a little bit, that was also quite nice, but just DNFs, stupid mistakes, so not the best, but there's always room for improvement.
Yep. So how are you feeling about Miami? How much practice have you got in, and are you feeling prepared with a strategy or a setup to hand?
Setup's really good, I have to be honest, very good.
Excellent.
Strategy, yes, got one in mind, so I'm safe with that.
Yeah.
Practice, however, I've got some in the bag, but not a lot. But I've got it in the bag. Not as much as I would have liked, but I've got it.
What's your sweet spot when it comes to practice? How much is your ideal kind of hour count or lap count, do you feel?
Let me say this, right? I'd like to target at least maybe 450% races, then I'd be happy. And then on the day of the race...
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's
on
full
the day
on.
of the race. It really is. And on the day of the race, I'd like to. I enjoy doing like 5 laps in time trial to get warmed up and get the muscle memory building, and then maybe hit a few 25%, and then I'll be sorted by the time the race comes.
So a lot of preparation in your ideal world, but perhaps not
yes.
quite as much as you'd have liked this week. Miami is a bit of an unusual challenge. It's got some very tricky sections. Where are you finding the most time, or struggling the most, do you think?
I have to say, since the start of the game when Miami was new, that chicane, it was always troubling there under the
overpass, yeah?
Yes, that's the word. Under the overpass. Now, I've found more time and I found my line through it, and I feel I'm sorted there now.
Okay.
Most of the track I'm fine with, but still some points that bugger. Can I say bugger?
Well, you have now.
Oh, fair enough. That buggered me over, but I mean, yeah.
It is a handful. I mean, even Fernando Alonso was complaining bitterly about that chicane in the race, wasn't he? So if it's tripping him up, then I imagine it's a legitimate challenge. So, talk to me about your setup. Are you on controller? Have you got a more advanced setup than that?
Controller. The most advanced part of my controller is the controller skin I have for it. Nice design. It's sort of like a rubbery design. Not a sort of rubbery skin over my controller. It's got like a nice design on it. Looks good. I enjoy it quite a lot, I have to say.
Sweet. Okay, but yeah, sticking to the old school approach. Are you on PS4 or PS5?
PS4.
Yep.
PS4.
Me too. I think it's actually slightly more stable with servers and everything, but good stuff. Are you looking forward to getting your teeth into this cross-play stuff? I know you take part in a number of different leagues, which we won't name on air, but I know you are a very busy league racer.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to be experimenting with this cross-play?
Yeah, I definitely will. The first weekend of crossplay, sadly, I wasn't yet to enjoy it, but the second weekend I was. I have to say, playing with some of my Xbox mates, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to dip my toes in to the deep end of league racing on PC and Xbox, just seeing what it's like. Hopefully it's enjoyable and good racing, but it will come with challenges. Different platforms, probably different races as well, you never know. But it'll definitely be fun. I'm gonna try it. Just don't stress it.
Good stuff. Well, I hope that you go well tonight. I hope that a little bit of getting to know you. The stream will get any neutrals cheering you on as well tonight. Although we do tend to get a lot of Premier Division teammates join us to scope out strategy and watch out for and cheer on their teammates. So who have you got in teammates across division?
My teammates obviously in Div 2, Shane, legend, absolutely love the Oak. And then in Div 1, it is Cyberjat and 02 Cool for You.
Awesome.
Well, I have to say, I love my teammates, all legends.
And are you participating in sort of pre-race chat, in setup adjustments and things like that, or is it just kind of for the banter?
For the banter, but I have to say, over the course of the race, I'm chatting to Shane in our party, having fun.
Nice.
And then Premier Division, if I'm there, I'll join a party with my teammates and have fun there. But, yeah.
Excellent. But you don't drive necessarily in a party with an engineer or anything like that. You haven't sort of advanced to that point where you've got a nominated engineer for the team.
No, not at all.
So how long have you been sim racing?
Christmas 2019. That's how I got my PlayStation. So not as long as some of the other guys, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm still getting used to it. I've learned new things, find new things every day. So.
And so, did love of the sport come first, or did the game come first, and you found a love of the sport?
Love of the sport. Love of the sport. I grew up. My father's a massive F1 fan. He watched through his childhood and adulthood. So I basically grew up with F1 since the day I was born. Basically, F1 was in my life. Over the years, around from 2010 onwards, my dad I wouldn't say fell out of love with sport, but stopped watching like towards the end of the season and that, and then I followed suit and then got back into it a bit and then fell out of love again. In 2018, started watching every race again. And I was just happy to play the F1 game, or not happy to play the F1 game. I wanted to experience the racing and doing it for yourself, basically.
Excellent. So, who do you support? Do you have a team or a driver that you particularly follow?
Right. My mate Bernard Town, he's my school. Bernard Town's my schoolmate. Love the Oak to bits.
Okay.
He knows this quite well. I like every F1 team and every driver. But
nice.
if I have to choose a favourite, I've got a Ferrari shirt in my cupboard. But I like. Okay. That's hard. Okay, Red Bull, Ferrari, love them. I used to like Mercedes and Hamilton, but just fell out of love that side watching the new young guns as like Max Verstappen and Leclerc and Norris coming through.
Yep.
So support all the young guys. I still love the older drivers in F1, but yeah, I like the young oaks.
I know it's of course down in South Africa you don't have the opportunity to support a South African driver, but you do have the prospect of a potential Grand Prix coming to your country. So how is that? Are you excited for that, or are you someone who prefers to watch on the screen?
Oh no! I would love to go. In all fairness, every time I put my I put my headset on. I launch up the F1 game. I go around like France or somewhere. I think to myself, wouldn't it be so quality to go watch the race over the weekend in South Africa, come home, and then drive around on the F1 game? That would be so.
I think we're going to need 2 or 3 weeks off from FTR and the expanded group as well, if that ever happens, because I think it's going to be party time. Well, it looks like it's time to go, yes. Hamrick. It's time to get yourself ready for Q1. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for being such a good sport.
Thank you. Same, yeah. Enjoy the race. Have fun.
Thanks a lot. See you later. Thanks. So good to talk to Hamrick. Let's tell you, Hamrick is currently in P13 in the championship right now, but let's talk to you a little bit about championship standings before we get cars on track in Q1. We have Mercedes leading the cross-divisional constructor standings on 258, not in any small part helped by Sergeant Panda from Division 2. Then we've got Alpine on 246, Alfa Romeo 232, Aston Martin on 201, and then under 200 points we've got McLaren, Williams, and Red Bull with AlphaTauri, Ferrari, and Haas. Ferrari and Haas still yet to break into three figures, but have been starting to accrue points. And in the Drivers' Championship, as we look at the screen, and it is teaming it down here at the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium of the Miami Dolphins in Miami. The driver standings, we see Sergeant Panda on top with 153, away from Burn It Down on 138. Then comes Avalak on 102, and below 100 points. Stoffel, Salzmeister, just 1 point separating them on 75 and 74 respectively. Then Shane, Ron, Martin, who missed a race on the naughty step. Then comes Chums and J-Boy as the top 10. Still to score is Aircitronic and Chicken Wing. But I'm sure they'll be trying to make amends for that. Now, it is a new track. It's Miami. The drivers dealing with these difficult conditions early doors. This is not what anybody wanted, I'm sure. Burn It Down tells me mixed qualifying conditions, but a dry race. So fantastic to get that info from our drivers, from the driver chat. Very useful indeed. I've got them. Got them well trained in the driver chat to let us know. And welcome, of course, to everybody watching on the live chat with us. Hi to Revolution, to Panda, who is listening in, at least to the pre-show. Then comes Puna and Delmine. Welcome to you all, as well as Simps and Shocker. So great to have you all with us. Let me ask for your cut-off point predictions here. We've got 20 drivers tonight, which is great to see, but it is going to be a very, very difficult night of qualifying, at least for the drivers. So make sure before we get underway with qualifying and you get all distracted with the action, make sure you've liked the video, on giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you like the commentary tonight over the course of the evening, do follow me on socials at WebboRed5. So this is that terrible chicane section underneath the overpasses here before heading down the long back straight. We're currently riding with AP Marg, who has been part of our pre-show before and also is almost always the first guy out on track. Simp says that the Merc drivers have come out of nowhere, didn't think they'd be leading the constructors. Oh, there we go, running very wide is AP Marg. I don't think that's deliberate. It's a little bit early to be taking such a wide line to power into now the start of the lap. Very short straight here at the start of the lap before the tight turn 1. Tight on exit particularly, as you can see. Car understeering out wide. Through then the S's of turn 2 and 3 before another little straight, before another S section. Quite wide open S section, and in the dry conditions the drivers will just be feathering the throttle, maybe change one gear down through this. It's a little bit like Maggots and Beckett's complex before the now traditional ever decreasing radius turn of turn 6 and 7, and then we have a flat out section here, a very, very long middle straight of the track. This is, I guess, the South Straight by the track map at least, and we're going full throttle all the way through those wavy sections before this could well be the primary overtaking position here tonight in turn 11. Turn 12 is a very hard corner to get right. It's a constant traction zone. That's 13, and now into 14 and 15. Very bumpy, very, very slippery underneath the overpass before turning back on to the long straight away once again. I guess we can use some of the American parlances, a straightaway and a pit road, but this is F1 racing, so I'll stick to my normal terminology. Hi to Francois Pinard, who is cheering on Aston Martin, and very useful for you to tell me exactly who you're here for. Turn 17, another big stop, another hairpin, designed for overtaking, of course. You can see the stadium to the right of the screen just as we go through towards starting the next lap, and AP Mark gets a 1:46.2 on the board. We've got outlaps from everybody else, so 46.9 from Aircitronic. They're in the Alfa Romeo Next up, his teammate Ron. Oh, a 45.5 for Ron, and he gets into P1, waiting for the next drivers to come through. I'll keep an eye on the board as we watch the Ferrari with Chums soaking wet out there. Of course, it could be worse. It could be on full wets. So far, no good. If you're in the live chat as well, let me know what you think the drivers are going to do strategically tonight. What sort of lap number? Because usually they'll be going for a one-stop if they can. Are the hard tyres in play tonight, or, in your opinion, not at all? Chums then a 44.0 gets a very impressive early lap on the board. Let's have a look then a bit further down the order. We've got Pampern, who is coming on through the halfway, well, just into the first sector of the racetrack actually. Drivers taking their time here. Simp says in the wet, turns 2 and 3 are horrendous, as well as the last 2 corners. Can't get the power down. And especially the last corner, that's take it in 6 or 7, he says. It is a very, very tricky circuit, very unfamiliar, and also one of these street circuits with walls lining the circuit all the way around. You just have to know where all the advertising hoardings are just to place yourself, because you do generally just spend your time looking rather at the not at the scenery, and rather at the apex of the next corner. Oh, you can see the car getting really light there for Pampern over the crest of the turn 15 chicane. There's Burn It Down, gets a fastest time, but Sir Hamrick was briefly on top as well with Shane, his teammate. So second and third for AlphaTauri, but a big gap of a window to drop into that gap between the teammates. Martin does exactly that right now in the McLaren. So it's McLaren from AlphaTauri, from McLaren from AlphaTauri, from 2 more Ferrari engine cars, the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo of Chums and Ron Schutter for this first section of qualifying. We're looking to see which 5 drivers we will lose, and Pampern goes 5th on a 43.555 for his lap so far. What's server owner and superstar of the season so far, really, Avi, I think most improved driver, I would hasten to suggest, in between seasons. Avi is currently in 15th place. There goes Jacques joining the session. I guess he temporarily dropped out there for us. I'll ride with Avi as we finish out this lap with him. Panda has had the championship to himself for a while now. I wonder if anyone else can get themselves in the mix. Avi gets a 42.7 and goes 7th fastest. Next up then, we've got some outlaps happening, so let's see who is the first one to tackle this one. I think it's going to be, Stoffel looks to be on it, and so I think is AP Mark, who only got that P11 previously. We haven't seen a lap yet from Stoffel, so let's focus on him. I think he's waited for the drivers to just create a bit of a dry line. Panda has stayed in the pits as well for some time here, still on an outlap. The drivers might do well just to fill the car with fuel for the session and just keep running on the intermediates, because you don't know whether the conditions are going to suddenly improve, suddenly worsen, or they will just suit the particular tyre wear pattern on your tyres. I think the rain is easing off, actually, from at least from my view on board here, which generally shows a little bit of a more favourable condition. You don't get a lot of spray on the PS4, unfortunately, but a little bit of a hint of teammate tow going on down the south straight of the circuit here with Stoffel and AP Mug. He needs his teammate to get out of his way here, I think. AP Mug off the circuit, Stoffel cranking on too much steering angle there for the level of grip on the circuit, and you can see the understeer really taking effect. He will love a tow down this straight if he can get one. And I think that his teammate in front of him, while he's on an outlap. No, Stoffel bails out of this one, actually. Stoffel decides to rest this one. Cyber joins us a little bit late into the stream, but welcome, Cyber, and you're an AlphaTauri supporter as Shane goes top at 40.613. It's only Q1 though, so the top times, well, they're good for a reference and good to get some confidence. They don't actually mean anything when it comes to starting position, apart from the rearmost 5 positions of the grid. Burn It Down, a 40.2. He's been showing some hot pace this year, this season, I should say. But no one has been able to outscore Panda for a long while. So Panda objective number 1 is just to get himself through into Q2. Don't need to take too many risks in these mixed conditions. And Cyber says better late than never. Absolutely, yeah, we'd far rather you were here than not at all. But I was just thinking it was late for you, Cyber, in comparison to normal. I think you're a little bit more, a little bit earlier by pattern. Anyway, so here comes Panda down the north straight of the circuit before heading into another tight hairpin. There is a proliferation of turquoise paint, as is the correct colour scheme for the Miami Dolphins. And Miami in general, there's Panda getting hugely out of shape. He goes P3 anyway, despite having to correct the car. That was Code Brown moment for Panda. Almost put it in the wall and retired himself from the session. Let's have a look at the guys at the foot of the field, because we won't see them until race time. It's raining. It continues to rain, of course. Salzmeister and Jacques for Alpine have yet to register times. They've been playing it pretty cool out there. And by the look of the track, if you just look visually at the track, it looks to be improving. But I'm not quite sure whether the drivers will agree with that one, as Salzmeister goes for a very kind of Fernando Alonso style steering input, very snappish, very sort of full on, full off, full on, full off, to mitigate the central rotation around its central axis. The car can reduce oversteer as a result, because just as the car wants to tip round, you've already corrected the steering in advance. So Hamrick has retired from the session, unfortunately, down in 15th position, so he might survive this, but he won't have any ability to defend that position. Salzmeister then starts his next lap, and we'll join him. We will stay with him on board through this one. Just got to take it pretty easy now. Your reference point is a 41.4. If you can beat Sir Hamrick, you can guarantee yourself at least starting in front of one driver. There's 3 on the track though who haven't yet set a time. There's another Alpine who is stock still, ghosted for Jacques, but not out of session. So kind of unusual to see that one. A little bit weird, but let me know if you can identify what just went down with Jacques. So it was definitely a BWT sponsored Alpine that we ghosted straight through. So Salzmeister down on the south straight as he heads in towards yet another hairpin. Achingly slow right-hander. Feels quite like the stadium section of Mexico through here. Trying to pick up the throttle, and Botta has retired from the session as well on a 43.6. So quite why Sir Hamrick's been demoted to 15th, despite his time being registered as a 41.4. I'm not quite sure either. Stamping on the brakes though goes Salzmeister. Need to lift off those brakes, and AP Marg has retired from the session as well on a 44.2. But from the pit lane, I believe. So that looks to be a deliberate action. It's 4 minutes to go. Salzmeister goes 12th, rescues himself out of trouble. There are 3 drivers who can do nothing about the times on the board. So, Ron goes P13. What is Cowboy up to? Again, another person we have spoken to in the driver chat. Cowboy has, in the pre-show I should say, Cowboy has invalidated this lap, so this is going to do nothing for him. Chicken Wing, Esitronic, Jacques and Cowboy very much on the bubble here. Burn It Down has put on soft tyres and has set the fastest lap. I don't think he's actually set it on the softest tyres, has he? Could well have done though. He's just going around now. He's in the pits, so I think he did possibly. No, he tried the softs, and I think he's come back into the pits because they haven't done a full lap. to register, but a 40.2 is the fastest time so far. It does look to be that anything above a 43 will get you through. Not much point watching Cowboy at the moment because he is not going to make this lap count. Essitronic then 1.5 seconds faster through sector 1 alone. Foot very much flat to the floor here through the South Straight as we head towards the Emirates Bridge and the braking zone for the next hairpin. Should be a very entertaining race down into these hairpins after the long straights. Be very Azerbaijan-like. Again, oversteer corner entry there for Essitronic. The balance of these cars really all over the place, and he almost corrected it, overcorrected there and hopped over the sausage curb at the apex of turn 15. And away we go once again. Lots of time to check your dash, make sure that your setup is correct and you're preserving the right amount of ERS in this track. Can't be blamed for that. You can be blamed though for missing braking marker boards. They are a little bit difficult to see, but that's pretty much all you've got to do on these straights is wait for that reference point to brake. There we go, 2.3 seconds improvement for Essitronic. Lifts himself to P12, can't get away from his teammate Ron in 13th, but has got a 0.3 of a second gap there at the top of the standings. Chicken Wing next to try and make this lap count. He's only got a 44.6 so far with 1 minute 40 to go. I think he'll get round to start another lap after this one if he wants to, but better to try and secure a faster lap at the early stage. So we're targeting a 43.0 I think here for Chicken Wing. I'm guessing that the times listed on the 4 drivers who have retired, I'm guessing that they were invalidated times. Stoffel goes fastest to 39.7, still on the intermediate times, 5 lap old intermediate times, which is what I was trying to say in a roundabout way. You can wear these intermediates down to a point where they are at the absolute perfect point, but I think it's stopped raining. I think that the rain has actually stopped falling now in qualifying, so anybody chancing their arm at some soft tyres or dry tyres at least would be in with an advantage here, although the circuit's still looking very slippery indeed. Maybe a little bit early to actually switch to dry tyres. So Chicken Wing out of the final sector, gets a massive over rotation through the penultimate corner. Chicken Wing gets up to P16 but only a 43.2, so still very much on the bubble. We're looking to Jacques and Cowboy. Well, Jacques not going anywhere. He is, well, it says he's in the pits, but he's actually on the entry there into turn 4. Cowboy then pretty much the only driver who can lift himself out of this qualifying 1 elimination zone. The checkered flag falls now, and that means that everybody in the pits and not circulating cannot start another lap. I think Chicken Wing will be able to. So let's just check out with Chicken Wing if he's going faster. He is going slightly faster by 0.3 on the first sector alone. Didn't get an update, I'm afraid, on Cowboy's lap this time out. He's currently only on a 45.0. Seesawing at the wheel, try and rescue this one, and he is actually slower on this lap. So unless he can perform a miracle in the final sector, I don't think he's on the target here, as Chicken Wing has maintained that 0.3 of a second gap at the moment. We'll get an update on his next sector just on the way out. Unusually the way out of the corner here, I believe. 1.7 second loss. So I think that might just be all the drama gone from this session. I think it's going to be Stoffel from J-Boy, the only drivers in the 39s, then burn it down Sergeant Panda, championship leaders, and Avalak in 3rd in the championship, 5th on the road tonight in Q1. Chicken Wing just testing the Tech Pro for us, make sure that it is all been fitted properly, and just giving his mechanics something to do in between session as well. But it looks like we're going to lose himself, Chicken Wing, Botta, AP Mark, Cowboy and Jacques, but I'll wait for the results screen to confirm that, because we've had some funny looking results screens so far tonight. Just checking in with the drivers here. I don't know if they will stop by on the live stream to update us or tell me through the driver chat room what's going on. Well, Stoffel gets ahead of the other championship contenders here, and J-Boy getting a great early lap in for Q1. I'm not sure how much it's going to help into Q2. I think we'll have slightly different conditions again. Then Burn It Down, Sergeant Panda and Avi. Then Shane, Minor, Martin, Chums and Top Gun with Saltzmeister, Esitronic and Ron fancying their chances of getting through to the next session. Why on earth have we lost 7 drivers in Q1? This game makes me scratch my head from time to time. I thought we were absolutely sure to be on with 5 eliminations, and there they go, take 7 out of the pile. So Pampern, Sahamrik, unfortunately, after being on the pre-show, Sahamrik out. Chicken Wing, Botta, AP Mark, Cowboy, and Jacques. We will not see again until the start of the race. And there you can see some interesting ramp arrangement to get your cars up to the top level of the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium, which is why do you want to drive your car up there? I'm not entirely sure. They should have taken the F1 cars up there. Race on the roof or something. So a murky, overcast look to this session, although I don't think any actual rain falling. Should be natural tyre evolution. The driver's still on the tyres that they started Q1 on, but hopefully we will get some drivers on track shortly. I think that's Shane first out. It is, and given he's in an AlphaTauri, he's managed to get himself out in front of everybody. Racing car 59 actually. So you can see the track surface still damp, and he's going to try out some intermediate tyres. Welcome if you're just joining us. We somehow or other managed to lose 7 drivers in Q1 instead of 5 as it should be, but they will be raring to get racing after Q3. But this one, of course, all about just losing the next batch of drivers. Same batch, I'm assuming 3. Place your bets now as to how many cars the game decides to eliminate from Q2, and then hopefully we will get underway. Panda says DNFs. So a DNF in a full qualifying session means you can't restart. That's okay. Yes, that makes perfect sense. So DNFs out of qualifying altogether. Cars tripping over each other a little bit there, and struggling around. Definitely pays dividends to be cautious in these sessions and make sure that you can at least be fighting for those positions next session. Well, waiting on Shane to complete the lap here and see quite what the traction is like coming into these final 2 corners. Very, very low grip for the drivers so far. Stay off that curb, Shane. And now we go to attack the racetrack. See where the braking zone leaves us. A little bit of understeer on the way into turn 1. Starting to deal with it into turn 2 and 3 as the temperatures of the intermediates builds. Small distraction of a driver offline to the left, that's okay, dealt with nicely. Down the gears then down into second gear and launching out now. We need a good launch out of that turn to be flat out all the way down the South Straight. Pick your braking point in these conditions. It's actually, he waited till about 75, 80 meters before braking. That was brave, down into the hairpin, given the track conditions. Burn It Down the only driver who appears to be on soft tyres, but he hasn't come out of the pits. In fact, he's come out of the pits right now, or coming out of the pits on the intermediate. So everyone still feel they've been watching the track through the monitors. Still feel like it's an intermediate qualifying session. Getting good grip into the last hairpin on the circuit. Fourth gear, little short shift up to fifth to get through these final two corners, and it's a 38.4 for Shane. So that was quicker straight away than they were in Q1. Mercedes coming on past the start-finish line. This is Panda, championship leader, winner, multiple winner of the season. Martin in P1, 38.3. We've got Stoffel in 39.2, registering their early times. Remember, Stoffel, that's probably about on a par with what he got in the first qualifying session, so not able to quite unlock the same delta of pace between sessions. Panda looking very, very smooth through what is a very difficult corner. Turn 6 into 7. Then you have 8, 9 and 10, which are just pretty much flat out sections. This is turn 11, hairpin. Couldn't have picked a sweeter apex point if he'd have got out of the car and pointed to it with his finger. Using just a little bit of that sausage curb. So feeling brave, Panda, feeling confident under the car. The sun's starting to poke its way out of the clouds, so I think we're on for a drying session. There appears to be quite a bit of mist in the air with the sun rays glinting between the trees. Down then into our turn 17 hairpin. Shane goes faster still, 37.7. So drops the bar further on his second lap on the intermediate tyres, bringing them up to temperature. This goes Sergeant Panda up to the 38.1 on his next lap. So it's going pretty well for our championship leader. We've got Minor registering the 5th place time. We've got Avi coming in on a 39.9. Who else? Burn It Down, only just starting his lap, in fact. Let's see about a driver who is a bit further along around. So Salzmeister from P10 currently, having not set a time. Hopefully the drivers will learn from the fact that drivers in the first session managed to get themselves DNF'd. Stamping on the brakes into turn 17 for Salzmeister. That final corner is gripping up now, and a 37.8 for Salzmeister. Very nice for the Alpine team. Be pleased with that one, I'm sure. Burn It Down is doing well. That appears to be a stopped and DNF run in P11 in exactly the same place that Jacques crashed in the previous session. So it looks to be a bit of a curb glitch, possibly. Looks like it's something that the drivers need to watch out for, that entry into turn 6. But they have cleared the car of Ron from the marshals, so it won't stay there all this session. It's popped back into the pits. Esotronic, a 42.0. What about Burn It Down, who might get a small toe off the car in front? Now you can see the sun really becoming a problem as the drivers head directly due west. You can hear the revs building and wavering as the wheel spin kicks up. Burn It Down goes fastest, topping Avalak's time that was temporarily at the top there. So Burn It Down a 37.0 from Avi's 37.6. Now let's head down towards the lower order of the circuit, because, well, Chums is just going quite slowly at the moment. Stoffel was an early pace setter, down into 10th position, so it's not working out so far for Stoffel this session. A lot less time, of course, only 15 minutes in this session, so be relatively lucky to get 3 regular laps in, with out laps and in laps. But with the changing conditions, the drivers not necessarily going for that standard out lap, fast lap, in lap triplicate. Shane has decided to put soft tyres on it, it seems, in the pits. Is that a bit of gamesmanship? Is he trying to bluff the other drivers into doing the same thing? He might well have been, because he's put the intermediates back on again now in the pit lane. You can see this section of the racetrack, this westerly aspect of the racetrack, still very, very wet indeed. Essatronic goes up to P11. Remember, Essatronic looking for his first points of the championship, deep into the championship as we are into race 7. But currently P11 on the board. Got Minor in the Williams now. P9, 38.8, his best time so far. Very early on the throttle pickup on the way out of turn 7. And he's slowing. He's actually trying to generate some heat in these tyres, I think. Salzmeister has put softs on the car in the pits anyway, and put the intermediates back on again. I'm going to play around. I don't think there's actually a serious attempt here. Here's Essatronic then. Here the throttle application struggling. Down into first gear. That is brave in the nasty chicane under the overpass. Crosses the delta line, and that is a lot slower on this lap. So if we've got anybody really pushing at the moment, we know Minor was taking it fairly easy. Let's see what Burn It Down's up to. He gets very close to that wall. Coming out of the turn 16. Out from underneath the overpass. No, he's going slowly as well, trying to help his teammate come forward. Stoffel's on a lap. Let's see Stoffel as he starts his next lap. Not very long left to go in the session. I'll give you a update once the yellow flag clears. If the yellow flag ever clears. So 4 minutes exactly before the checkered flag falls. There is Jacques Slater leaving the session. He's not in this session in the car, but he's obviously lost connection. Avi goes fastest at 36.8. Let's see if Burn It Down can beat him for the second time this evening. Just dampen any hopes that Avi's got of being the quickest guy. Stoffel into turn 11 and 12 now. If we'll get fully dry conditions for Q3. Maybe the final laps of Q3 will be fully dry, and we'll get an idea of the relative pace. So a purple middle sector for Stoffel. It's very handy indeed. Actually got good change of direction on the car. Short shifting into third and fourth. 5th and 6th now. Go towards the line. That's a much faster time. That's a 36.1 by 7/10 the fastest driver out there. So Stoffel goes P1 at this stage. Manager in 10th and has invalidated his current lap. Waiting to see if Chums and Essatronic are going to come out of the pits and try it out. We've got some drivers still in the pits on soft tyres, but J-Boy has decided to go on, and Martin returning back to the league after a temporary absence. A 36.0 secures the fastest time so far. 36.0, but if the drivers on these soft tyres do manage to log a time, I imagine that will be quicker still. Waiting on outlaps for Essatronic and Chums. So in the meantime, let's watch one of the faster runners. This is J-Boy in the championship leading Mercedes team. Very different usage of the gears there for J-Boy from some of the other drivers we've seen into the long turn 6 and 7. but this lap is a little bit slower than he's been before. Let's ride with Burn It Down and see how the car's handling on the soft tyres. Just ahead of where J-Boy was on track there for a moment. So Burn It Down trying these tyres out. Seems okay this side of the circuit. It's definitely started to dry here. I don't quite know whether it's been modelled precisely to have wet patches underneath the overpass, but quite a distracting amount of mist and sunlight coming into the cockpit here. I think the McLaren is the best looking car on cockpit view. Crosses the line then. Burn It Down to start his attempt on the soft tyres. Let's see how much quicker he is, but we must go and have a look at the bottom three. Well, Minor manages to get up into the top three from the 10th place, so he's made himself very, very safe there on a 36.8. 30 seconds remain in this qualifying session. Just see what Burn It Down's first sector looks like. How much quicker can he go? No one in the bottom of the standings has chanced dry tyres just yet. So that is 1.5 seconds faster through the first sector alone. Essitronic looking a little bit slower this time, but Chums is going a lot faster and could rescue this lap. You can see the tarmac definitely catching some dry patches here down the North Straight. Heading into turn 17, lap almost complete for Chums. Panda goes fastest, a 35.2 on intermediate tyres, and so clear as day that the track is getting better and better. Here we go then towards the line. It's Chums up to P4, and that will do very nicely. That will make him very safe indeed. Essitronic has gained 1.9 seconds, but has unfortunately invalidated the lap. So will he be able to get round and start one more lap? No, he won't. The checkered flag has fallen. He'll pick up that checkered flag and will settle in 12th position. Saltzmeister from 10th, going 2.2 seconds faster in a purple middle sector for him. Did Burn It Down claim the fastest? You betcha he did. 33.2 for Burn It Down. That's 2 seconds faster than anybody else. Well, correct myself slightly. J-Boy goes 34.4, a 1.2 second deficit to the soft tyre shot of Burn It Down, as Saltzmeister on the soft tyres too comes away from P10 up to P3 and secures himself a very, very nice qualifying position there, P3. So it looks unfortunately like we've got Top Gun, Essitronic and Ron, who are very likely to be casualties of this session. I don't think Minor is going to go any faster on this lap. So there you have it. Burn It Down, J-Boy, Saltzmeister, Panda, Shane, Martin, Stoffel, Chums, Minor and Avalax should do battle for Q3 with Top Gun, Essitronic and Ron out of this session, but we'll see them again come race time. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back with you very soon. And we're back to start Q3, 12 minutes of qualifying. We'll see the fastest drivers do battle. Let me get your predictions then as you're watching. Who's going to take the pole? Predict me the top three if you like, but also the time you think the drivers will do. Looks like dry conditions all around for everybody. Looks like Shane also first out on the track as well. Will Stoffel let him get away with that one, I wonder? So heading down then comfortably into the turn 11 is Shane. Yeah, good idea of the elevation change that goes on underneath the overpass section. And Shane just feeling out the car, getting the car warmed up. In fact, he's going to let Stoffel go past him. He's slowing down. I'm not quite sure what he's looking for here. Just a clear run on the racetrack, perhaps. Why you would want to be quite so close to the other drivers, I'm not quite sure. But I'm sure he's got his own plan here as Stoffel then tackles the first of the flying laps. He's got no one in front of him, misses the apex a little bit into turn 1, but as the change of direction happens very quickly into 2, it shouldn't cost him too much. What is all important though is maximising this S section and of course stamping on that throttle as early and with as little drama as possible on the way out of turn 7. Here we go. Yahoo section, the south straight all the way down towards turn 11. Pick your braking point past the DHL section into the Emirates section and look for that marker board. Well, it's just about where the bridge is, the 100-meter board. Using third gear, control the car. Got a nice chunk of steering lock on into turn 14 there. Again, looking for as good an exit as possible to come out of and down the North Straight. DRS open, you heard the beep, and he's on it. And heading then towards the final major braking point of the circuit. Very, very late on the brakes, too late on the brakes, I think, for Stoffel. Maybe he's lost the tyres from underneath him here. Lost the best out of the tyre at least. Rides the curb. No one was doing that in the wet, and it's a 30.0, but quickly beaten by Burn It Down. It goes on a 29.0. So I think there's time lost in the final hairpin there for Burn It Down. Martin a 29.7 and Minor gets a 29.6. A big gap to slot the car into between P1 and P2 for the drivers. Panda a 30.1. Presumably a fairly slow charge lap for Panda. This is Chums in the Ferrari, looking again for that braking point. He's outdone himself down into the turn 17, so it does look like the track is not quite as grippy as the drivers are expecting on the westernmost point of the circuit. 31.7 for Chums is not ideal, you have to say. Here comes Abby then. Across the line, a 29.917, right in the middle of the pack. P4 at the moment. J-Boy has not come out of the pits yet, and I wonder what's happening then. Is Shane taking it really easy on the first lap? He's certainly 7.5 seconds faster through sector 1 than he was previously, so definitely not taking it so easily now. 29.0 the fastest time. Will we see a 28.9 or a 28.6? He says plucking random tenths of seconds out of thin air. Let's see what we can get for a pole time. Shane getting sneaky behind another driver. They wouldn't have got much over toe that way. The closing speed was pretty frightening. Down we go then. He got the car to the apex. It wasn't quite as he planned, but he got there. And there's Shellin, or Shakes, saying go Minor up into P2. There goes Shane into P5, a 29.8. It's certainly not quite what we would expect from the likes of Shane, of Stoffel, Avalak maybe. I know Avalak's been challenging for pole before, and Shellin says go McLaren, burn it down, and Martin obviously cheering those boys on. Don't know if we've got Brad with us watching, Shellin's teammate in the Premier Division. So still waiting for outlaps from Stoffel and J-Boy. These are just in-laps, I think. At the moment, I don't think anyone is pushing particularly hard. We'll have a look though, because Panda, yeah, he's invalidated this lap. Martin, we'll find out about now. Yes, he is on a hot lap, and he's half a second under his previous time. He was some 6.5 tenths slower than the pole position time currently. So he's on target to get himself onto the front row here, provisional front row, with 5 minutes of qualifying left to go. If you're coming back into the pits shortly, you're going to have to get a move on. So Martin across the line, a 29.3, didn't quite maximise that final sector, but he's still got up onto the front row. It's all McLaren. It's 1:29.0 for Burn It Down and a 29.3 for Martin. Next comes Minor, Panda and Shane, the top 5 as the drivers come through. It's an outlap for Minor at the moment. Saltzmeister might be going around doing another lap. No, you just get a picture of this pit inroad, which looks a little bit like Paul Ricard on its way in here. So the drivers just have to be careful, especially if it's low grip conditions, before we see what else is happening. Chums in P9 is on an outlap, but so also is Avalak and Minor in P3. In fact, Minor is the furthest forward driver on the track, and the one most likely to upset those McLarens in front. But it's certainly... sun is shining on the track and on McLaren as soon as Shellin turns up in the live chat. I don't know if you've been here the whole time, my friend, but if you have only just turned up to say let's go McLaren, you chose a very good moment. So let's ride with Minor as he goes to start really pushing now. There's only really this run, so only really this lap or the next one if this one goes awry. I do think the sun is going to be a big challenge for the drivers. It looks to be a sunset race time here. A lot of lens flare on the T-cam at least. It's going to be doubled if anyone is brave enough to use the helmet cam. So far so good for Minor. Very nicely in the apex here. It's certainly got tyres at this point of the lap. Remember, free choice of tyres, so you can shred your soft tyres if you don't plan to use them. He's 1/10 of a second up on the previous time. We've got Burn It Down on an outlap at the moment. I'm sure Martin is turning the car around as well to get out there at the best and most opportune point. Minor then breaking down into turn 17. Final hairpin, that looked pretty handy. Maybe trace of understeer on the exit of the hairpin, and goes to the line. He makes a big improvement. In fact, he splits the McLarens up to a 29.2. That was a good final sector on the board for Minor. And what about Avi, who is 6 tenths, 9.5 tenths to the good in sector 2 alone, and that puts him right in the hunt for the pole position or the front row here. Avalak, if he can just do a similar final sector to what we saw on the Alpine of Minor, and he understeers to the apex but gets a better exit of the corner than Minor did. It's all full throttle here now in these conditions, and he goes pole at 28.6 for Avalak. So the right to reply goes to Burn It Down, who has just started his next lap. Burn It Down has had his provisional pole taken with a 28.6 from Avalak. What a lap that was, and what a final sector as well. The track should be at its absolute best now with under a minute and a half left to run in this qualifying session. It's turn 3 and there goes Burn It Down, spins, and that's been this lap. I don't know if he managed to get it stopped in time to rescue from damage. I think he might have done. Can he get round though? It's a minute and 5 to the line. That is very, very tight. He's going to have to monster this lap and make no further mistakes. Martin's on an outlap. Sergeant Panda, championship leader, he could be very likely to be in the mix as well. He's half a second up on his best time so far, but that's not in pole position territory. We'll see him head towards sector 1 here. That was the final sector. He got that half-second improvement. Sector 1 is a 6/10 of a second improvement. It's looking good so far as Stoffel goes P2 at 28.8. The time's tumbling now at the top, and Shane goes fastest by 0.04 of a second. Shane right up there. 0.02 of a second. He improves over Avalac. 28.6 for Shane. He kept that one in his pocket right till the very end. 12 seconds to go before the checkered flag. This is where it all matters for everybody. This is Panda then coming out of the turn 16, out from under the underpass, and this from under the overpass, sorry. A purple middle sector for Panda. Let's keep it together. One major braking zone to deal with in the final sector of the racetrack, and the championship leader currently P7 on the grid, looking for a good exit here. That looked pretty handy on the way in and out of the hairpin. Goes to the line, then Panda crosses the line and steals the pole position by 3.5 tenths. He's up there into a 28.2. Fabulous stuff from our championship leader. What about Martin though, who is going faster, but the times are tumbling down very quickly indeed. I'm not sure that looked comfortable over the curbs. He's only 2 tenths to the good at the moment. Burn It Down did not make it round to start another lap. It looks like Stoffel did. And we've just got a few cars left on the circuit now. Martin needs the mother of all final sectors, and that's no way to go through turn 17. So from 7th on the grid, Martin, what can he get here? The line comes at you very quickly indeed, goes up to P4 and beats his teammate and Stoffel and goes up into a 28.8. Very, very close at the top of the order, but that looks to be everybody crossing the line has completed their laps now, and it's Sergeant Panda who secures the pole position at 28.299. I didn't think we were going to get south of a 28.5 tonight, so a 28.2 is incredibly handy here for Panda, leading the championship and pulling out the lap when it matters most. Tremendous stuff up there onto pole position for Panda. 28.299. J-Boy didn't register a time in the end, unfortunately. Stayed in the pits or didn't manage to secure one at any case. But a good lap there for Panda. And there he is then. Fastest. He's kung fu fighting tonight, it seems. And he's joined on the front row by Shane. Then comes Avalac in P3 on the clean side of the grid with Martin and Stoffel. Burn It Down, Minor 6th and 7th, and then Saltzmeister, Chums and J-Boy. So Mercedes 1st and 10th in that session. There's the fake marina. You could see from that view on the screen. And the tennis courts. Very big mix of features around this circuit. And Shocker is hoping for a McLaren recovery. P1 and P4 would be realistic. Well, I'm not sure who's going to take this away from Panda at the moment. unfortunately, due to force majeure, I'm going to end up missing 3 races, the final 3 races of the season. So hopefully you will have an entertaining commentator one way or the other. But unfortunately, I'm kind of hoping for an early resolution to the championship, just for my own sake, because I won't even likely be able to watch the races where I will be away from the time zone. So that is unfortunate for me, at least. So formation lap begins, and we can get a good look at the cars. I'm hoping that the glitch has now been fixed, whereby the drivers, only the host has warm tyres at the end of the formation lap. Let me know if you're aware of whether that's been fixed or not. But down at the tail of the order, then, remember we said goodbye to these drivers very early on. It's Jacques for Alpine in 20th. His teammate Minor starts P7. Salzmeister starts P8. Then we've got the Haas of Cowboy in P19. AP Marg has managed to get disqualified from this session already. And then Botta in 17th. His teammate Avi is on 3rd position. And then we've got the Ferrari of Chicken Wing in 16th. And his teammate Chums is in 9th. So Hamrick, pre-show interviewee, in 15th, looking to move forward. I'm sure he's down on practice this week, but down from an intended, what did he say, 4 race distances before race day, and then a couple of 25% as well for good measure. On race day itself is his standard. Then we've got Pampern in 14th. The 2 Alfa Romeos are 13th and 12th, Ron and Esitronic respectively. Francois gives us a prediction already. Get your predictions in now. He says Panda, Burn It Down and Stoffel. So keep going with your predictions before the formation lap if you want the full complement of kudos. Top Gun is in P11 in the Williams, and then we've got J-Boy who made it through to Q3 but didn't register a time. It looks to be his ghost going around. I don't know if J-Boy has actually fully left the session during Q3 or in the transition from Q2 to Q3. I'm not sure I've seen him do anything yet. Sim says Burn It Down for the win. I'm assuming from P6 is a strong claim. Let's have a look at the tyre selection. Hard tyres for a lot of the drivers. That'll be interesting off the line for Panda. But we've got soft tyres on both McLarens on the same strategy. That may not be super sensible to both be on the same tyres. The McLarens, of course, in perfect Miami liveries for this race. And then we've got medium tyres on the board for Hamrick, for Esitronic, and for Shane up on P2 on the grid. So he'll be in a good place here. Very flexible strategy, the medium tyre. That would be a good choice to be on. So Panda from Shane is your front row. That's your tyre selection. I'm going to go back to position change. We can keep an eye on developments as they happen, but it's we're ready to go. As Dixie Killer says, Pona for podium. That should be good. And Shocker says Panda, Burn It Down. Avalac for your podium as well. Simps saying Burn It Down, Martin, Panda. So a big mix of everybody. I hope you're all going to be able to scroll back and find out who it was who predicted the podium correctly, if anybody did. Waiting then for a good camera angle. I can't get one. It's lights on. It's ready to go. It's drop the clutch and go away from the start. It is a reasonable start for Sergeant Panda on the hard tyres. It's a very good start, in fact, as now Shane gets down the inside and the Red Bull of Avalac is sandwiched between the McLaren that is falling down the order. That must have been Burn It Down there in 5th position, but Avalac trying to hang on to this one and stay on the tail. So Hamrick has gone up 7 places in the first lap alone. So in the first sector of the first lap. So Hamrick up 7 places up to P8. And we've got Avi dropping 3, J-Boy dropping 4. But wow, what a start from Sir Hamrick. And here he comes now behind this group of 3 drivers. Go back to check out tyres. Was anything give him the advantage? Just medium tyres on the board as Martin overtakes Panda. Panda with a problem here, it seems, early doors. Shane's got ahead. Panda on the hard tyres can't get the car gripped up enough, and it's Martin attacking Shane very hard underneath the overpass, and they go down onto the North Straight. Coming out of turn 16, it is now change of the order. It is Shane from Martin and Panda from away from the lap 1. Looks like Burn It Down chasing behind Stoffel is in fact drawing alongside. There's a bit of action going on ahead of these two, down into the final braking zone of turn 17. That is Burn It Down securing the position against Stoffel. Beautiful overtake for Burn It Down, but Martin on the soft tyres can't quite do the job on Shane. He's going for it into turn 1 as he outbrakes himself as Shane collects the car back again and goes storming around the outside. Beautiful racecraft from Shane. Knew when to defend and when not to defend. Martin outbraking himself. Sergeant Panda right up there as Martin goes for another move down into the left-hander before the right-hander, and they'll go side by side, and it's really tight squeeze for Shane round the outside. Martin having to duck out of the throttle, and beautiful racing from both of them. Martin, he was on the naughty step for a week, but he's clearly got his tail up and he's ready to go fighting, but he's doing it very cleanly so far. Down the outside he goes through the S's, the flat out S's, and they get into turn 11 and he secures the lead of the race on the soft tyres. Needs to use the grip of those softs as early as possible. We reckon from Amazon that it's laps 16 to 24 to get rid of the hard tyres onto the medium. We shall obviously wait and see on this one, but again, down this North Straight, and the order has changed again. It's Martin, Shane, Panda, Burn It Down, Stoffel, Avalak, then Hamrick, Minor, Saltzmeister and Chums, your pattern as things stand at the moment. So can't believe Sir Hamrick's start. What an amazing start. Now up 8 places from his starting position. Martin's got 3 up, but star of the early laps, definitely Sir Hamrick, and making a lot of progress. In fact, he's now closing on the back of Avalak, and he's not even on the back, he's alongside as they head towards turn 1. There is a little bit of lag between the two drivers. Avalak claiming the inside line, and Hamrick deciding to go round the, well, there he's down the inside here, across the pit lane exit. So Hamrick still not quite on for an overtake, and has actually lost a little bit of time through there. There's a full course yellow in effect. Triple wave flags across all 3 sectors. Don't know what that's for. Don't know if that is a VSC or a full safety car. I think we might have a VSC at this stage. There looks to be a Red Bull of Botta DNF'd on the way out of the final hairpin, and there's a penalty for the VSC. We go green flag racing once again, but a penalty on the board there for Chicken Wing, who tripped foul of the stewards thanks to the VSC infringement. Wow, it's been all action this first 3 laps of 29 here. Wow, massive hop over the curb from Sergeant Panda. That'll wear the plank underneath the car. Something chronic. And it looks like Martin has been so aggressive. He's even used up his ERS in 3 laps. So really keen to get ahead. So this is the DRS in effect down the North Straight, as it looks like Stoffel, the man most likely to make a challenge here, going into turn 17 for the 3rd time. And he can't quite get the job done because it's a bit of a DRS train. This top 5 drivers all separated by less than a second each. Well, Shane just nips out of that 1 second window, so it will be Panda with the first lot of DRS profit on the car. Cracking start here from the drivers. Looks like Top Gun go for the move into turn 1 against the Ferrari of Chums. It is good at going through turn 1. They can go side by side for several corners if both drivers are willing to not push the other driver off too aggressively. But comes a point where maybe being behind at this DRS detection zone is what matters. And there exactly, we got a DRS in effect on the Williams, and he's already ahead on the way out of turn 7. And in fact, it looks like it's Pampern who's got the jump in. Pampern's even going to go for it, for a double move. He goes down the inside. The Williams hogs the outside of the track. Didn't have enough momentum there, Pampern, to drive the car to the outside of the circuit. Had to leave a gap. And, whoa, Top Gun hops over the curb and almost into the wall from the outset. Let's go up the order as well, because it looks like Panda with that DRS profit is hounding the back of the Alpha Tauri. Time to move forward now for Panda. Doesn't want to see Martin get too far ahead, and he's also got Burn It Down, who will be hungrily looking at the rear of his Mercedes. Panda with a fastest lap that time, and he's absolutely on the ascendancy now. He's brought the hard tyres into the operating temperature, and should be quite the threat here for the bulk of this first stint. Should Panda, if he can stay with these drivers on better, grippier tyres for their stint lengths. So Martin, Shane and Panda, your top three. A little bit further back, we've got Sir Hamrick right behind Avalak once again. Again, just a little bit of lag there, I think, on Hamrick's car, so he's going to have to be aware of that. And spins on the way out of turn 7, unfortunately. Little spin turn to correct it. That's probably front wing damage for Hamrick, and undoing some of the work he did say he was struggling with spinning on this circuit, and it's proven to be, unfortunately. Shocker says, how are the softs working for Martin but not for Burn It Down? It's a good question, but maybe Burn It Down is just treating them really carefully at this stage. Doesn't want to put too much heat or energy through them. Here comes Shane now on the medium tyres with the DRS. He's caught back up to the back of Martin, who uses the middle of the road to try and defend. Shane closes on the brakes. Definitely looks like the softs are starting to wear out relative to the mediums. Really starting to become a problem now for Martin, who wants to get as far into this race as possible, or a safety car, to try and get that cheap stop, get rid of these soft tyres. I imagine he will try to go onto the hard tyres. Unfortunately, J-Boy updates us. He keeps getting kicked from the game, so looks like some connection problem there, or some fault on the server itself for J-Boy, and we hope he can get back in the car. He's currently 18th, or at least his Ghost is 18th. He's been in and out all evening long. He's trying his best. 3-second time penalty goes out to Esitronic. It looks like Chicken Wing served that penalty, as here for the lead goes Shane around the outside. Martin tries to keep the inside line and claims the racing line. Shane was trying to sneak around the outside, but Martin wise to it. Nothing too aggressive from either of them so far. Again, Martin doing exactly what the Williams did the lap prior, and almost binning it into the wall. Could be anyone's on the long run down the North Straight now. Simp says Burn It Down might well be running higher wings. That's another explanation, absolutely. Yeah. He's losing progress against Martin down this straightaway before they get into the hairpin of turn 17. We won't see a pit stop just yet from the leader Martin on the soft tyres. What will we see from Burn It Down as Stoffel gets past Burn It Down as well? So Burn It Down's woes continue, and Burn It Down does decide to pit the end of lap 5. You could see on the exit of the hairpin that Martin was struggling for grip, but end of lap 5 would be very early. Panda on the ascendancy once again, using that ERS. I think he'll be looking for a really good exit and a double toe down the South Straight here. Martin has got fantastic pace, still getting the car lifted out of the corners very nicely under traction. Just obviously still got rear tyres to play with, but maybe it's the fronts that are costing him with the understeer we've seen, especially through this stadium. Well, it's not really stadium, but it's a very highly populated section of the racetrack, at least with the grandstands. Simp says that Burn It Down is losing 3/10 on each straight. And Francois is very happy to see Stoffel up into P4, the second driver on the hard tyres currently. And now trying to take it a little bit easier, perhaps, these top three. Stoffel can see the top three in front of him, and he's 4 seconds away from them. Now let's see, what does Martin do now? No, defuses the pit lane. I think he might have got slightly through that graining phase on the tyres. Seems to be a little bit more stable underneath him. A reminder, folks, make sure you subscribe to the channel because tomorrow is the Premier Division, and make sure you've liked the video and are following us on socials as well. I don't think there is a Full Throttle Racing social apart from the YouTube channel and Discord, but for me you can find me at WebboRed5 everywhere. Lap 8 then. Martin, Panda and Shane, the order at the moment. Panda having got past Shane in the last few corners. Looks like the softs are dropping off. The mediums may not be as good as the hards at this point. Ron gets a penalty as well from P13, picks up a track limit penalty, and J-Boy playing the hokey cokey with the session. He leaves the session once again, unfortunately, from P18, only ahead of Cowboy on track with Botta, unfortunately, our only retirement so far. So we'll wait to see if Martin decides to pit now. Now starting to struggle to get away from the hairpin, and indeed into the pits comes Martin, end of lap 8, and now Shane is right on the tail of Panda, as Panda no longer has the benefit of the DRS through the corners. Martin plunging down the order, of course, serving that pit stop. Back underway now, but Pampern will pass him. I think Top Gun will too before he gets into turn 1. So that's your lead so far. Position change wise, Sir Hamrick back up to 7 places plus from his start position. Make that 8 as we've got pit stops happening. Disaster for J-Boy, but that's very expected if he can't stay in a session. I've got a full course yellow once again. Is this a VSC? I think it might be. Unfortunately, the game still isn't telling me what type of safety car is in action at the moment, but obviously watch out for any drivers picking up more penalties as a result of that, as there we go. Panda gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. That's your leader, and your championship leader no less, who picks up a penalty. Massive development for the race, for the championship as well. A drive-through penalty will hurt Panda. He was on a great strategy. He's going to effectively end up pitting twice now. He has to serve that drive-through at the at a very early stage, the first 3 laps after being awarded it, and is straight into the pits he comes to serve that right now as the rest of the field get back under racing conditions. Shane has been gifted the lead of the race, both by early pit stop from Martin and from a problem on board with Panda, who picked up that drive-through penalty. That is Sir Hamrick passing Minor, and now Sir Hamrick back up to P7 where he was earlier, and doing very well indeed. Just that minor little slip and spin turn to correct it. On the tyres then, it's Hamrick on the medium tyres with Shane Essitronic from the start, but Essitronic may be having a bit of a problem further back as other drivers pit. It looks to be Top Gun in the pits at the moment. Let's have a look. Jacques and Ron are doing battle right now in the first sector of the racetrack into lap 10. Of course, now the second third of our race underway. How deep do the medium tyres go? Will they get the drivers to that 2/3 distance, lap 20? I would estimate not. I don't think the mediums are going to make it to make a one-stop medium soft strategy here, unless they get a proper safety car. Looks like Martin right on the back of Pampern. Very different tyres. Of course, Martin's gone onto hard tyres, and they are brand new. So getting the car stopped to the apex, but a little bit of overspeed through the corner. Looks like the Haas trying to stay with him, but just a little bit of extra traction for Martin, maybe a little press of the ERS. In fact, he gets fastest lap despite going so wide on the exit of turn 17. Gets it done then. Martin 4.8 seconds away now from Panda, but on good tyres. Panda yet to properly pit, of course. So that is the gap to the leader for Martin. He's down to under 20 seconds now. One of the obviously the earliest pitter was Burn It Down, but Martin only on the end of lap 8, and will undercut these guys, and they will have to do the job on the way through the rest of the race into the next stint, and potentially have to overtake him again. But he should have tyres to the end of the race happily. So the drivers starting on hard tyres will have the option of using softs at the end. Stoffel, Avalak, Panda, Chums, Salzmeister, Ron, Jacques, AP Marg and Chicken Wing. Really interesting to see whether Panda can rescue the race after that drive-through. As J-Boy saying, the internet keeps kicking him out. Yeah, I thanks for that, J-Boy. I did update the stream thanks to your note in the driver chat, so we're all good. But yeah, sorry to hear that you've had some connection problems there tonight. Always very, very frustrating when you do all your preparation and then there's nothing you can do about a problematic connection. So Esitronic, getting a bit snappy sideways in the very, very difficult Fernando Alonso's least favourite part of any racetrack on the calendar, and he's just slipped back now. Jacques might be able to have a go here. Ron has retaken that place from Jacques in the previous lap. Most of the rest of the drivers really spreading out. Salzmeister is in the pits, so his teammate overtakes him comfortably. Shocker, he is suggesting that realistically Stoffel's in the best position because Shane will be on hards at the end, unless of course he can make it through to use the softs, and Stoffel will be on softs. Yes, Stoffel will be on softs. He's 5 seconds off the lead. He's got a 5-second gap to Avalak in third place, but penalties can always play a role into the latter part of the race as well. So Shocker reckoning that he'll be there, and Simp saying he started a Vettel helmet trend. Yeah, a lot of people rocking that helmet at the moment, for sure. This is Jacques hunting down Ron for P10. We've got Hamrick, who is has been passed by Burn It Down, and he's trying to hang on to his coattails. Hamrick, 11 lap old medium tyres, has been passed by a much fresher hard runner. Across the start finish line to finish lap 13, finish lap 12, start lap 13. And those are your closest drivers on the circuit at the moment. Burn It Down in 7th from Sir Hamrick in 8th. Burn It Down on newer tyres, of course. Esitronic with a penalty on the board. And Stoffel has picked up a penalty as well. That's huge. That's really big. Oh, Sir Hamrick does exactly the same thing on a different corner. Well, no, it's just earlier at the same corner, isn't it? Just unable to get the car stopped. A little bit of oversteer under braking, I think, this time rather than under acceleration, and a second spin for Hamrick. Unfortunately, he didn't lose too much by way of track position, just one position there, but a heck of a lot of time correcting that little error, unfortunately, and just taking any drama away from the battle we had on screen temporarily. But of course, a difficult point of the race. We're approaching halfway, and we don't quite know at this stage how all the strategies are going to work out. But let's have a quick look then at the penalties. It's a 3-second one for Stoffel. That could have cost him the potential win here, that 3 seconds. So remember that. Well, you won't need to remember it. It's just going to sit there. A retirement for Chicken Wing. A yellow flag in Sector 2. He's on the main straightaway. And it looks like you've got Esitronic coming up behind him. Let's try and find you a driver who will actually see what happened from his perspective. Full course yellow, full course safety car. Now that is very, very interesting for the drivers here. We're obviously in the window for the hard tyres to the end. I don't know, I think we might be in the window for the medium tyres even. So the pit lane is about to get very busy. A 5-second penalty for Ron, who dives into the pits early, but unfortunately costs himself quite dearly doing that. So as I say, lots of pit stops on the track at the moment. Looks like Top Gun is shooing the pit lane, strangely enough. He's only just put medium tyres on, but a fresh set of mediums would be just fine as well. So let's check out. We've got a while before the drivers come through to the leaders come through to the pit lane. That is Esitronic, who's only just put hard tyres on for the end of the race. This is Cowboy. So I think if you started on the mediums, you have to go hards here. But if you started on the hards, you could easily use mediums to the end of the race. Scrap that plan of going hard to soft and get yourself some new boots on. Well, Shane's in the pits. Stoffel is also in the pits, as I imagine will be Avi, Panda, and Pampern. I don't know about Martin, because he's run 2 different tyres now. Yes, Martin comes in, I'm assuming, for medium tyres here, and we'll have a restart some short distance into the second half of our race, and that has really spiced things up, just as all the gaps had opened up for all the drivers. So fresh tyres on just about the entire grid, apart from Top Gun Minor and Esitronic, and maybe Cowboy as well. So does that change anyone's predictions? Does that nullify Stoffel's penalty, or does it make it even worse? I think it makes it worse, doesn't it? I think he had a more comfortable gap there to Avalak in third, and all that has just been undone. Solsmeister has got soft tyres on. Is he just going to run 1 lap on them and then put the mediums on, maybe? Because that's out of the realm of possibility, as far as I'm concerned, to do half, well, just under half this race distance. Do you know what's funny is that view of the marina, the water looks more realistic on the game than it did in real life. They've actually rendered water as water rather than some bizarre turquoise arrangements. So Solsmeister does come into the pits. He just ran 1 lap on the soft tyres. Presumably he started mediums. He's gone medium soft very briefly and back onto mediums so that he can get on a par with the rest of the grid. So just Hamrick. Shane in the lead of this race has gone on to hards. I think he was forced into that decision. And Esitronic on hard tyres with Cowboy. And everybody else, fresh mediums to the end of the race. We should have a nice fair fight to the end. Whether you judge this to have been fair on the drivers, it's just racing, isn't it? It's Chicken Wings retirement causing a safety car for everybody. Lots of tyre warm-up going on, but it might be slightly premature. I'm not sure that we will be green flag at the end of this lap. Will we? We will. The lights have come off. Well, the lights aren't on the safety car, or the spoiler on the back of the safety car is shielding the lights. Is that what's happening? Well, we are not restarting. Yeah, I don't know that the lights are actually flashing on the safety car, but yeah, there you go. Another inconsistency, I'm afraid, on the game. Nothing by way of lights going on there. Very unhelpful. But my suspicion was that we will be waiting a bit for this race to restart, given the field spread. No news from the driver room. Just wanted to check whether Chicken Wing or Botta had updated us as to what happened to their races. Looks like Sir Hamrick and Burn It Down just swapping places there. I don't know if Burn It Down was off track for a moment. But the field has very definitely grouped together now. It looks like just the number plate flashing on board the Mercedes safety car. And we will go safety car in this lap. So 13 laps of the Miami Street Circuit left to go, including this one, to finish off our race. Shane leads from Stoffel with a penalty from Avalak, and Panda in 4th position. Panda's got to be grateful for this one, to get back into 4th place after a drive-through. This could be a very important one for his championship if he can manage to cope with a drive-through and still get good points tonight. Medium tyres for just about everybody. Look to Shane to possibly be vulnerable here on the way through. Looks like there's a Haas still ghosted on the restart, and that is Martin launching one at the inside of Avalak into turn 1. Avalak will be nervous after what occurred 2 races ago into a different turn 1, but Martin gets ahead on the medium tyres with good tyre warm-up protocol running, and it is Stoffel from Panda and Martin 2nd, 3rd and 4th, with Shane getting away nicely thanks to that Haas that was blocking the racetrack really for the chasing pack here. Shane from Stoffel and Panda as we start lap 17. Then behind this group come Avalak with poor tyre warm-up, I think, or at least treating them very gently. Pampern in the actual lead lap Haas chasing down Avalak, and that was Hamrick making a move up to P7. Needs to be careful on these low grip corners. Already had a couple of spinellas. Wow, very aggressive on the car on these hard tyres. That's yeah, very brave from Hamrick. I don't know if Martin is going to have a go here on Panda. Panda weaving, well, the whole train really weaving to the inside. Panda doesn't need to defend into turn 17, but he can hold on at the moment. Panda and Martin on the same tyre strategy. Martin tends to use his ERS quite quickly. Yeah, indeed. On that first restart lap, he's using that ERS very, very quickly indeed. Pampern was temporarily very close to Avalak. I don't know that he will be quite able to launch one. We'll have a look on the way into turn 11 coming up shortly. Cyber says, nice Hamrick, keep climbing. Yeah, just needs to stop those little spins though. That was Shane really struggling. Snap oversteer on the way out of turn 7 and 8, and letting the second and third place drivers past. This is Panda from 4th, about to take the lead going into turn 11. How on earth has he got into this position? Stoffel defends comfortably, and that is Shane in 3rd place now, defending from Martin. So Stoffel regaining the lead. He's got a 3-second penalty on the board. If he's in the best position possible to gap the field, but of course they've all got DRS behind him once it is re-enabled. So Stoffel from Panda with a drive-through is now in 2nd position in this race. That safety car really worked out to pay for that drive-through under the virtual safety car for him, and into 2nd place now with the first of the DRS profit in this battle, this 4-way battle for the lead of the race, led by someone with a penalty. This is going to be very tasty. New fastest lap for Panda, 31.8. Is a very handy time on the medium tyres. The new medium tyres there. Anything else going on further back? Yeah, Burn It Down getting past. It's Pampern who's having a problem going through the S's after turn 1. Unfortunately, he was looking at another driver. I think he might have tried an overtake and it didn't quite work out. Both Williams drivers, Minor and Top Gun, together here, 7th and 8th in the order. I don't think Panda with 0.6 of a second behind Stoffel, who has been quick down these straights. I don't think he'll be quite within range down into turn 11. Maybe he will. He's closing. 1.5 tenths. Oh, it's difficult down into the corner there as Martin gets past Shane. Martin hugging the inside line through the long turn 12, and Martin up to third now. So Shane from the lead of the race, causing a problem. I don't know if Shane was helped. If Panda was helped or helped himself into that spin from behind. That might have been contact from Martin. The way the car seemed to spin could have been just hopping over the curb, but I can't really claim that one. So championship leader down to 9th place now as Shane closes right in on to retaliate against Martin, who got the job done on the previous lap. Can't quite get there as they head across the start-finish line for the 20th time, for the 19th time even, to start lap 20. It's Stoffel from Martin, and Stoffel is nearly 3 seconds to the good here against these two. They need to work together and bring themselves towards the leader, otherwise they're both going to lose out to not be able to get Stoffel on his penalty. Talking of penalties, Panda's picked up another one. Panda's picked up a penalty on the board, and he's only got a very small margin to the cars behind Chums and Ron and Minor. And whoa, there goes Shane once again, struggling to get himself away from turn 7. Can't get the car restarted at all, and that lets Martin breathe a hell of a lot easier, and causes Stoffel to furrow the brow slightly there. Now we've got Burn It Down half a second behind Avalak. We know that can get you within range here to have a go. It's not quite working out though for Burn It Down. It's Stoffel with a 3-second penalty, just 2.3 seconds ahead of Martin, who's been using a lot of ERS after this early restart, this early stage of the restart, I should say. Then we've got Shane in third, struggling to get the car out of the slow corners safely. DRS open for the McLaren, can't quite get there. Once again, Stoffel picks up a new fastest lap of the race, but Martin beats it quickly in second place. So just as Stoffel trying to stretch the gap, Martin won't let him get away, wants to hang on to the chance of a win here. But Panda, what will Panda be thinking? Was he touched into that little spin, or did he help himself just hopping over the crested curb of turn 14? If you are watching on the chat and you can rewind it, then if you're watching live, let me know what you think about it. I'm not sure we had the ideal camera angle. We're looking directly at the cars coming towards us. As Stoffel picks up a second penalty now. Stoffel in the lead of the race, just as it was starting to get to the point where he cleared the first penalty, he picks up a second one. 6 seconds of penalty on Stoffel's car, and Burn It Down on the hunt here for Avalak's 4th place. Avalak looks to the inside, using the middle of the road just to discourage a move, but that is a big issue for Stoffel at the head of the field. 6 seconds. This could see him lose a potential podium, let alone a win. Massive problem then, but we've still got 8 laps to go. Still could be anybody's to the end here. We've seen a lot of spins in this new game, in this first season in the new game. Here is Burn It Down in on the North Straight, fully alongside Avalak, has the inside line to the next hairpin of turn 17, and a good pass up to P4 takes that place away. We'll need to defend from the DRS of the car behind. Martin is still pushing Stoffel, doesn't really need to, but wants to stay ahead of Shane as well. Martin, another fastest lap on board. Sahamrik is in 12th at the moment. I'm assuming that means he had to stop or has had another spin, maybe. He has tremendous speed if he didn't keep spinning. Sahamrik maybe just needs to dial it back to 9 tenths or 8.5 tenths. And we got Pampern, a 3-second penalty picked up in P6, and that's just ahead of Panda. So if Panda can get Pampern, he will stay ahead of him. Top Gun then, 1/4 second behind Panda. So Panda less worried about catching and overtaking Pampern as he is about defending from Top Gun, who is racing without a penalty tonight. Ron has picked up 9 seconds, Esitronic on 6, Cowboy on 5, speeding in the pit lane, I believe. Minor on 6, and then 3 each for Pampern and Panda, with our leader Stoffel on 6 seconds of penalties. That's a massive deal for the next section of this race. 7 to go. Top Gun unable to punch a hole in the air and get the overspeed past the Mercedes of Panda in front. He'll like an opportunity to race with the, well, I was going to say race with the championship leader, but he's pitting his Top Gun off the medium tyres, presumably for a set of softs at the end of this one. That is Top Gun in after 13 laps on the mediums. 13 seems to be the magic number for Top Gun and the mediums. So he's hoping other drivers have to put softs on at the end of the race, and he'll get the undercut on them. This is now Minor, the only car within a second of the car in front at this stage of the race. Bizarre how it works out this way, but Martin is catching Stoffel. He continues to catch Stoffel for the top step. Of course, with Stoffel's 6 seconds of penalties, it's very much still on for Martin, whether he passes or not. And it's Minor who's kind of going backwards here. His medium tyres starting to hit the cliff. They obviously hit the cliff for Top Gun. He needed to come in at the end of his lap 13 on the tyres. It's lap 12 for Minor, and it seems to be a familiar story. Losing ground to Chums. They've just picked back up in the tight, twisty section there. Maybe Minor will be able to have a go down into turn 17. Not quite close enough this time round. And again, struggling to get that car away from the hairpin. Really struggling on traction as the tyres start to wear. The rear tyres clearly the problem here for Minor, putting the power down. So a yellow flag for sector 3, and that is a car pitting, I believe. That is AP Marg from 16th position pitting. Pampern is closing on Avalac, but Pampern himself has penalties on the car. And Martin is about to get within a second of the lead of this race by rights on track, and irrespective of potential penalties, as Pampern brushes the wall trying to overtake Avalac, and completes the overtake at least to the exit of the corner. Avalac looked a lot more comfortable on the circuit there, but he didn't quite hold off Pampern's overtake. Chums bests Minor deep into the second sector of the racetrack, and actually they are catching J-Boy's Ghost at the lead of this race, and now the lead of this race is down to under a second. Well, it was for a brief moment there, and it back is again once again down the start finish straight. So Martin will have the complication of an Alfa Romeo just being lapped and just getting past, and now they're passing J-Boy's Mercedes, and it looks like Stoffel's just about managed to edge Martin before the DRS detection zone, which comes up deep into this corner, I believe. Let's see if that rear wing suddenly pops open for the McLaren. No. Yes, he did have DRS. We may also have a move coming for Panda, who is only 0.4 of a second behind. I think we're not going to see a move just yet for the lead, but it's closing, it's getting closer. Here comes Panda then from 7th. Remember, penalty on the car, goes for it down into the inside against Avalac, who holds the outside, leaves the apex for the Mercedes driver and hangs on to his position. Very smart racing from both of them. Martin is 3/4 of a second behind Stoffel and closing down the North Straight, but I don't think has quite got the overspeed to get past. Let's see if it'll be a similar story again. Panda versus Avalac as they head towards the hairpin. Panda creeping around in the blind spot in Avalak's outside. Avalak gives him the outside once again. He should be ahead on the way in. Needs to turn in, tries to do the switch back, but Avalak pauses at the apex, as he's every right to do, hogs the racing line and hangs on for another lap. Let's watch with the penalties now, and defending to the inside, but there should be room on the outside here for the Mercedes. Oh, it almost gets his nose chopped off as he tries the outside inside switchback move. It doesn't quite work out though for him. Let's check out the front two as they head towards another overtaking opportunity. It is Stoffel with a 6-second penalty. His main focus here is finishing 6 seconds ahead of third place. I think he may do well to actually let Martin through, but he wants to hang on. He may feel like his penalties are unjust, so he may be appealing to the stewards later to have them removed, but it's a bit of a slam dunk when it comes to VSC penalties, at least. Sometimes track limits you get 2 accidentally at once, and you only had 1 to start with, so your margin suddenly shrinks. Stoffel suddenly opened out the gap to Martin by 2.2 seconds. Remember, that was under a second earlier on. It is 3 laps to go, including this one. It's Stoffel leading by 2 seconds from Martin, by 5.4 seconds from Shane, and he needs a 6-second delta there to the leader. It's very, very tight to stay on the podium for Stoffel. To stay second, I should say, as Panda almost trips over Avalak, breaking down into turn 17. The laps are ticking by very quickly, too quickly for the for I think Panda to try and make any further moves. I think finishing 6th is about the highest hope he's got, but I don't think he's going to do it with the penalty on the car unless he can force Avalak into an error. He's trying all manner of different lines around these corners to try and put Avalak off. He needs the points for the championship, but he has got a good, comfortable lead at the moment, so it's all about just collecting what points are on the table for you. Martin, 2.5 seconds. Shane now 3.5 seconds further behind. Surely now Panda will get Avalak here. Surely the overspeed is immense on the Mercedes. They're both derating. Panda ahead. Avalak will just brake, just release the brake pedal down the inside of the circuit. Panda, he's been close to another driver in this section once already tonight. I think you're once bitten, twice shy for Panda. Doesn't want to drop this one if he can help it, and they continue to battle incredibly closely between the two of them. Let's have a look at gap to leader then for Shane. It is 5.6 seconds for Stoffel to remain second here in this race. Here now comes Panda once again down the outside. Avalak braking later, using the apex and spinning and ghosting just in time for Panda, and all that work that Avalak was having to do could have just been ruined. He might actually slip 3 seconds behind Panda. I believe he has. There's 2 laps to go, including this one, with Stoffel in the lead. Shane is just on the bubble of claiming second place. He's just slipped out to 6 seconds, which is where it needs to be, and I think Panda has got a 3-second cushion here to Avalak, who will be very, very nervous, making a similar mistake that he just made coming out of turn 17, the hairpin at the west point on the circuit. So Hamrick, a 30.5, a new fastest lap. I'm assuming that's decent tyres on the car. That is, but he's in 13th place, so I don't think that fastest lap will potentially count, unfortunately. So it's Stoffel from Martin, from Shane, and Shane has just dipped under that 6-second marker once again. Esitronic picks up another penalty, up to 9 seconds now of penalties for Esitronic, and I think AP Marg will shoot past both himself and Ron. Both Alfa Romeos will get beaten by an Aston Martin, I think, tonight. No way through currently for Burn It Down on Shane. Shane still 5.9 seconds here. Let's have a quick look at what kind of resources they've left themselves. 21% on Shane's car, 5% on Martin's, and 12% on Stoffel. So Shane could well, with a monster lap here, manage to get himself up to second place and demote Stoffel to third place. This is the final lap of the race. It is Stoffel from Martin from Shane, 5.8 seconds. It needs to be under 6 to make it Martin, Shane and Stoffel your finishing order when it all shakes out. Some tight battling going on in the lower order between Avalak, Minor and Chums. I think Avalak's tyres have cried enough. What's he on? 14 laps, but Minor's on 18 laps and catching him. So it's not all straightforward. Sergeant Panda is 3 seconds to the good ahead of Avalak plus some. So could well hang on here. Talk about hang on. I think Shane is going to do it and make Stoffel have to put up with third place on the standings here tonight. Stoffel, how he will rue those track limit penalties he's picked up, I'm sure. So coming out of the final corner, Stoffel will be the first guy across the line, but I think Martin, after being away for a week, wins in Miami and takes the win away. Shane picks up P1. I think that might be, yeah, Martin's picked up a strange penalty, a post-race penalty. So I do think it's Martin, the winner of this race, from Shane, from Stoffel, and then Burn It Down and Pampern. Martin's got some silly penalty, like a 20-second or something. I think Martin is the winner. Panda in 5th place, or at least 6th place, beats Avalak, and then Salzmeister. Chums, Top Gun, Minor, Martin, currently still demoted down to 12th. This is just a junk post-race penalty, unfortunately. Round we go then. Lap 29 of 29 complete. It is, I believe, Martin from Shane and Stoffel the podium. Then Burn It Down, Pampern and Panda, Avalak, Salzmeister, Chums and Top Gun your top 10. Just outside the top 10 will be Jacques, Minor, Sir Hamrick and Ron, Essitronic, AP Marg, Cowboy. I don't think J-Boy will pick up anything out of that one. Shocker says Shocker's prediction was right. Well, that was a shocker. So absolutely, yeah, Martin. Yeah, he's just informing me the game's glitched. But yeah, Martin is your winner. Driver of the day. So this is not correct. It's not a correct podium at all. This is Shane picking up second place, hanging onto his steering wheel. I don't think the stewards will take kindly to that. But picture a McLaren representative on the top step in truth. And Avalak will try and get hold of the drivers for us. Martin, your winner from Shane and Stoffel. Burn It Down in 4th in my estimation, at least. Looks like Shane's got some grey hair there in the beard and underneath the cap. To belabor the point, I'm afraid, Martin wins the race as far as I'm concerned, from Shane in 2nd and Stoffel in 3rd. Burn It Down, Pampern, Panda and Avalak, Salzmeister, Chums and Top Gun, the top 10. Then comes Jacques, Minor, Sir Hamrick, Ron, Essitronic and AP Marg. Cowboy, the last of the real drivers, finishing tonight in 17th with J-Boy's Ghost, Chicken Wing and Butter not able to complete this one. So if Avalak is listening, it should be Martin from Shane from Stoffel for our driver chat. Hopefully we will get hold of them shortly. Hopefully you'll stay tuned and give us some questions if you'd like to ask them. Fastest lap went to Sir Hamrick in the end on the soft tyres at the end of the race, but unfortunately down in P13 it will not yield any points for the team. In terms of the team's championship, this slip up from Panda there with the penalty could be all important there. for the end of the race. I see Stoffel on his way. I see the drivers just assembling into the press conference. Hopefully they know the deal by now, but just a quick reminder to check their audio settings are set to share, and we will hopefully get hold of some drivers for you very shortly. I believe Stoffel would end up finishing third because Shane was in range, so I would ordinarily talk to Stoffel last, but as he's the only one who's showed up so far, I'll talk to him now. Stoffel, you won the race on the road, but what was the deal with the 2 penalties picked up there?
Yeah, the first one was a back marker. I got two warnings, and then just missed it completely with one of the back markers coming out of turn 1, and then the other one just pushing too hard. So I'm very, very fed up with myself, but at least it was a good drive.
Yeah, it was a good drive, and you got a podium at the end of the day. I'm sure that before the race, if someone said you fancy a podium tonight, I'm sure you would have been happy with that. So perhaps something to reflect on anyway. But very difficult. It's always galling when you win the race on the road. But obviously a good performance overall. Any major drama for you tonight out there?
No, I literally had a quiet race all by myself. Nothing I can really write home about. But I'm gutted to win the race on the road. But ending on P3, that's some good points, and it's a podium at least for me missing the race last week as well. So,
yeah, I mean, good points for the team. Unfortunately, OP Marg finished outside of the points tonight, but Aston Martin could well do with those points. So I'm sure your teammates, all 3 of your teammates, will be pleased with that result in the end. Any overtakes? Any tricky moments on track with anybody, or was it genuinely just a really straightforward race for you?
No, it was a very quiet race. I think the safety car. At one stage when the safety car came out, I was juggling. Should I go along with the hards and then maybe put on the softs? But in the end, it was the right call. And tires held up quite nicely. Yeah,
certainly the call that most of the drivers all made at the same point there. Just get stopped during that safety car about half distance. But anyway, GG's, well done. I'm sure you can come back and talk to us again on the podium in the rest of the season. But congratulations as far as it goes, Stoffel. Good performance. And it really, I think, a step forward in pace, I would say, from your earlier part of the season so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I'm coming to grips with the setup of the car and all that. So it's just a bit more practice, and then, hopefully a couple of more podiums for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by. Good to talk to you, and good driving to get there on the podium. I think we've got Martin. Martin, I don't know if you've heard me just remind the drivers to check their audio settings are set to share. I'll put the stream on in the background so I know whether you can be heard or not. But congratulations, you picked up a win.
Thank you. I'm happy, but I had an incident with Panda through those that chicane under the bridge, and I don't know if I'm going to get a penalty for that.
Well, from our trackside camera, all we saw was the cars coming towards us, and suddenly we saw Panda turning 90 degrees to the right. But you did make contact, you feel?
Yeah, no, I tapped him, but it felt like going over the second, I don't know what to call it, bump, basically. He braked extremely hard, and I couldn't react to it, and I just tapped him, and then he spun.
Right.
So,
The car is very unloaded in that section, isn't it? It's cresting over a sausage curve very hard, and I know he was taking quite a narrow line, but I'm sure the stewards will take a view on it. But really, you had tremendous pace tonight, all the way through qualifying, all the way through the race. Were you feeling good on the racetrack?
In qualifying, no, because especially in the wet weather, I had zero grip. I was turning into the corners, and I was in second gear, third gear, and my back end was just going out under me. But when it got dry, it was much better. But so in the race, my race pace was much better. On the hard tires, my car felt amazing. And then I boxed for the mediums, and then it also felt great. But I went for the softs at the start of the race to get that jump hopefully to get that jump on both the cars, which I did. And and then it was just keeping the pace, not getting any warnings, penalties, and I did that, and I won the race.
Absolutely, yeah. You certainly monster the restarts and the start. You use virtually your whole battery in the first 2 laps after each of those.
Yeah.
So you were clearly feeling very aggressive on those soft tyres, and it worked out well in the end. But congratulations and fingers crossed for you for any steward decisions. Well done on the drive tonight.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Well, I don't know if Shane joined us or not. Shane, speak up if you are with us.
No, he's not here.
He's not here. Okay, I don't always get every notification on screen, but thanks for that, Martin. Well, unfortunately,
No
Shane, we won't hear from. We will let you know if there are any steward decisions at the start of next week. I'm sure Panda will have something to say about that one, regardless. But from everybody here at Full Throttle Racing, thanks for joining us. Make sure you like the video on the way out. And from me, Webbo, good to be here and enjoying the race with you all. Thanks to everyone who took part in the live chat, and we will catch you on the next race day.